Hey everybody, this is a video on the kilowatt hour, the kWh. K stands for kilo, W stands for watt. Kilo is just 1,000. That's that scientific prefix for that. Watt is that unit of power. We did a lab earlier in the year about squatting, where we turned gravitational potential energy chemical potential energy into gravitational potential energy. And your power output was measured in watts. It was how many joules per second of energy you could transfer. And then in hours, your hour, 60 minutes, 3,600 seconds, that is a unit of time. And if you take power, which is what a kilowatt is, 1,000 watts, and multiply it by an hour, which is time, well, you're doing power times time, and that equals energy. That's what a kilowatt hour is. It's a unit of energy. I have printed out my power bill from my power company, and on here, I have my average daily use of kilowatt hours. And it looks like my family this year used about 19 kilowatt hours per day, when this time last year we only used 18. So we were watching a little more Netflix, using our stove, which is an electric stove, a little more than we did. We used more power than we did last year, even though the average temperature was a lot warmer than last year, so we should have been outside and not using as much energy. It looks like we did anyway, so we'll have to cut back on that. On average, it looks like we used 557 kilowatt hours of energy this month, which usually I have you guys bring in your electric power bills to class at some point if we're not doing distance learning, and we look at this, and that's about average, a little smaller than average actually, because we have a smaller family than some people do, but yeah, that's what the kilowatt hour is. Its unit of energy. It's equal to 1,000 watts times 3,600 seconds. To let that seconds cancel out in joules per second, we're left with 3,600,000 joules. That's what 1 kilowatt hour is. That's why the power company doesn't send me my power bill in joules, because the numbers would be huge. They'd be in the hundreds of millions of joules, and it'd be a lot to look at. So instead, do kilowatt hours. If you left a 60 watt light bulb on for 1 year, that'd be 60 watts times the number of seconds in a year, 31,536,000 seconds. Use them wisely. You would end up with this many joules. Gosh, that's let me put a comma there and a comma there. That's over 1 billion joules. And that's a lot. Expressed in kilowatt hours, that's 525.6 kilowatt hours. And that's just for one light bulb on for a year. So, energy can get real big and real expensive if you're using it over the course of a lot of time, because that's power times time. So be careful, and if you think about it in joules, you realize you might want to turn that light bulb off if it just stays on all year and isn't lighting up any rooms. So that's the kilowatt hour. Let me know if you have any other questions regarding that unit.